Today we're maxing the brand new 5-star and Lyney signature weapon, the first great in Magic. This has been and will continue to be a pain to raise because it needs all new materials. These ancient chords are open on the same day his talent books are, so I'm trying to kind of prepare for his weapon and himself, and it's all a little much, but it's to be expected with a new area. We're gonna get it as far as we currently can. Since I haven't been underwater too much, the minor enemy drops have been a bit of a problem. I think we nearly have enough of the elite enemy drops, but we'll see. Second star coming up here. We're still doing all right on materials, but yeah, these transoceanic chunks are going to be an issue. We can get some from the Star Glitter exchange or whatever, but yeah, the vast majority of enemies that actually drop those materials are underwater. There is the 4th star anyway. Also, the weapon materials domain is not open today, so I really hope I farmed enough. I was farming it like a madman yesterday. There is level 70. We didn't get a single gold drop though, so that is a little bit concerning. And we only have these 9. I really hope we have enough greens and blues to make 6 golds, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, we have to head to the crafting station. We need more newborn tainted hydro phantasm. That sounds wrong. This is the elite enemy drops from the tainted hydro phantasms. Maybe if we just get a few bonus, we'll have enough. Sucrose bonus on 60, at least 6. Come on. 9, all right, good, thank you. 32 bonus sucrose, at least 3. All right. It looks like we probably will have enough. We have 46 out of 14. I'll see how many I can get out of the Star Glitter exchange. 21 bonus on 21 sucrose. Is it 0 when I really needed it, sucrose? Yeah, we can only make 7 of those. Come on, at least 1 bonus to make up for it. All right. So we can get it to the 5th star. At the 2nd, I'm not sure it's even possible because we need to have the weapon materials. Oh, 60 crit damage at 80. Okay, it's not going to be like maximum crit damage, but it's also gonna have a decent amount of base attack, so somewhat balanced actually. So yeah, actually we do have enough elite drops, which is cool, but we need 16 of these. We can make 15 blues from our greens. We're gonna need some bonus, I think. Alt, please, bonus. 2 bonus at least, please. All right, 1 bonus, I'll take it. We do have 65 blues, which can make 21 purples. Actually, I think we might be good. Is my math that bad? Hold on. Oh, and we got 3 bonus. Okay, we're definitely good. We can make 8 now. Okay. Let's make 5 and hope for a bonus. No bonus. Let's just get that last one then. All right. Since I don't want to spend the next 2 hours swimming around trying to collect those little enemy mats. All right, so these pearls down here, we can actually get 45 of, which is great. And we should be able to get green ones as well. 35 of them. We might be like nearly there already. Yeah, we can also get blue ones in the Star Glitter exchange, but that costs Star Glitter, which is quite valuable. And I would hate to do that, to be honest. Let's start with these 15 greens we can make. 2 sucrose bonus. All right, acceptable. And we can make 18 blues from all those we just bought. I already forgot how many exactly we needed, so let's just, no bonus. Okay, on the really important stuff, you kind of fail me, Sucrose. That's very sad. Oh, we're good. We only needed 18. I'm actually incredibly surprised there was no farming necessary. That is wild. But here we go, level 90. Got, yes, very average distribution of stats there. 608 base attack, 66.2 crit damage. Of course, they are the perfect stats for him since his new artifact set gives him a ton of crit rate. Base stats overall are like ideal for most DPSs anyway, so in that regard, it's a good general bow, but what about the passive? What's the passive do? Because that can really make or break a bow. Damage dealt by charge attacks increases by 16%. So to maximize the passive, we are already kind of limited to units that deal the majority of their damage with charge attacks. The only one I can think of off the top of my head right now is Ganyu, besides Lyney, of course. Actually, no, Tighnari, my boy. I can't believe I forgot about him already. But yeah, we'll take a look at the bow users in a bit once we talk about his passive. For every party member with the same elemental type as the wielder, including the wielder themselves, gain 1 gimmick stack. For every party member with a different elemental type from the wielder, gain 1 theatric stack. Theatric stacks increase your movement speed. Movement speed is cool for like exploration, I guess, but yeah, you really want to be trying to chase that attack percent increase there. Since it includes the wielder, that means you need to have 3 of the same element, which in Lyney's case ties very nicely into his kit anyway, since you max out his pyro bonus with 2 other pyros in your team. But is it good for anyone else? We have 15 different bow users by now. Again, Lyney, yes. Faruzan, no. I would argue she's not much of a DPS, more of a niche support. Tighnari, on the other hand, yes, I think his main damage does come from his 3 rapid fire charge attacks. However, would he really be in a team with 2 other Dendros to maximize the attack? I don't think so. I sometimes have him with one other Dendro, so he'd be getting the second highest attack boost he could have. And since I'd like to build my Tighnari with a good amount of Elements of Mastery, you know, I mean, he still does scale with attack, so that could help. Yelan can do decently powerful charge attacks, but I don't think you're gonna be doing them often until she's C6. She can have like 5 rapid fire normal attacks that count as charge attack damage, so would benefit from that Bow's passive. Goro and Sara are more supports. Aloy, I'm not gonna comment on Aloy. Can she be a DPS? I think she can be in like a nearly mono cryo team with like Shinha and whatnot, but I don't know. I really don't want to comment on that. Yoimi, of course, gets most of her damage from normal attacks. Ganyu, though, is another interesting contender, though, because she definitely does do the majority of her damage with charge attacks, and you can use her in a nearly mono cryo team with like Shinha again. I think Ganyu's not the best for Shinha because like you can eat through those stacks really quick until Shinha is C6. Diona, Venti, Fischl, Amber, I don't think any of them could use it well. Child, though, maybe a little bit. I mean, he is a damage dealer. He would appreciate the base stats at least, and in his melee mode he is doing some charge attacks here and there, so it wouldn't be totally useless, but I don't think you're running mono Hydra with Child either. But yeah, it's like Tighnari, Ganyu. We can spend some time doing comparisons just for fun, though it would be very unfair to put it up against my R5 Amos bow for like Ganyu or Tighnari. Maybe we could compare it to something like Hunter's Path. It does also have an emphasis on charge attack damage, though it does have crit rate instead of crit damage, so we need to mess around with artifacts, and that always gets very messy. But yeah, just a little bit of fun testing, not really serious testing. So let's start with Ganyu and just keep everything as clean and simple as possible. We're not going to have much reactions or stuff going on, just looking at the raw damage. Baiju's there to heal my Ganyu when I get hit. We gotta check her current build, which is not finished. She currently has a crit damage hat, so that will probably need to be changed. Yes. But yeah, the goal is to swap over to a crit rate hat when we have a crit damage bow and vice versa. We are also going to throw Shinha in there because I feel like if you're going to use the first great magic on someone like Ganyu, you're going to at least have one other cryo in there. For like a melt Ganyu, maybe we'd have Shanling in there as well. And we'd swap Baizhu out for Binny. I don't know what the actual good teams are. This is just an example. I mean, possibly Kazuha would still be better than Shinha for overall damage, but unless you're going for like a freeze Ganyu, I don't think it'd be realistic to have more than one other cryo to get the maximum bonus. 52 crit to 220 crit damage, which is still a little skewed. I will try and have similar stats when we swap bows, but that's going to be hard. With this bow, there is no effect or anything you have to trigger to actually get the damage bonus. So we're just gonna start with a little shot there. We got a 24k. I mean, raw damage, that's already pretty solid. 24k, it's very consistently 24k. With that final hit there. I don't think there's anything really much else to see here. I think it would also be interesting to see the damage difference between having 2 and then 3 different cryo characters. So even though it might not be really realistic, I just want to see what we are missing out on by not having a third cryo character. Okay, 26.6. It's not a massively big difference, but it definitely is something. Yeah, 26.6. I guess we may as well check what it's like without any other cryo, just Ganyu herself. 22.9, 24.8, 26.6. Maybe around 8 to 9% extra damage per character. I mean, mono cryo Ganyu team is a thing that people use sometimes. I don't have too much experience with it, so I can't really say if it's worth using like for me personally or not. But we'll go with the example of having one other cryo besides Ganyu and trying to stick to more or less the same stats, but again, that's going to be hard. Crit rate doesn't really matter since we're only focusing on crits anyway. Let's give her Hunter's Path. Actually, no, let's give her Amos just to see the difference. This is literally just for fun, but I mean, she actually does a lot of crit damage in exchange for a little bit more attack. But yeah, with one other cryo, we were getting like 25k hits. It'd be interesting to see what we get now. Okay, 29k. That is not as much more as I thought it would be. That was a 27k because I guess we were a little closer. Point blank range is 27 too, a little further away, 30k. So that's probably the maximum. I mean, you're not going to be fighting enemies from much further away than like max distance Masanori. So I don't know, it actually wasn't as big of a difference as I thought, you know, since this is R5, right? Let's switch to Hunter's Path and see what that's doing. So we get the tireless hunt effect after hitting an opponent with a charge attack. We're gonna do 2 just to make sure. I didn't bother rearranging stats for Amos because it's an attack bow. This one, of course, it wouldn't be fair to have her with 96 crit and 150 crit damage, especially since we're only looking at crit. So we're definitely going to swap out this crit rate for a crit damage circlet. This one has a lot of EM as well, which should help Hunter's Path a little bit. She has 383 EM. I think that's more than enough for a melt Ganyu. She does have a lot less attack for some reason. I mean, I guess, yeah, if this attack boost already applies in the stat page as soon as you equip it, then that would be the cause of her much lower attack now. Since this doesn't have an attack boost, it just has a charge attack damage boost, 160% of her EM. This one is a little bit more complex because it could definitely get better with a full team if you have Elemental Mastery boosts in your team. 1600 attack Ganyu does seem quite low though, but also Hunter's Path has a low base attack. 20k? Wait, really? Oh, what? 20.9k, but we are getting the 12% all elemental damage bonus. The passive is working as intended. It might just be because she has very low attack because of the base attack on the bow. Like, we do have an attack percent sans. Maybe we don't have enough attack percent substats or something, but like our crit damage isn't much lower than it was with the bow. Maybe the secondary ability just isn't as good as it sounds. 160% of elemental mastery. If you round up to 400, yeah, I guess it's only giving us like 600, 700 extra damage. But usually that's before all the other stats like, you know, crit damage. Let's keep her in Hunter's Path for now in the same build, but just have Binny in there. All right, he is not currently infected with Pyro. 35Ks now, obviously a lot more impressive. 35.6. All right, we'll just go with 35.6. Swapping back over to Great Magic, we have like 10% more crit damage, so it's really not that big of a difference in that regard. But with just one other cryo, we were still getting like 3 to 4k more damage per charge attack, so that's pretty big. Don't block. 40k. What? I can't see a scenario where it's not at least better than Hunter's Path, so that's something. 96k, that was a melt though. But yeah, it seems like their really low base stack is really hurting Ganyu. Maybe I shouldn't have even tested Hunter's Path, I'm not sure. I wish I had an R1 Amos to test because this is kind of her signature weapon. But like even at R5, it's not doing that much more than the first Great Magic, you know? But since Amos has an attack percent substat, I kind of want to see the difference now. So we're gonna do the Binny Burst. Okay, we're actually getting a 43. Okay, 45 if he's a little further away. Now it's raining. I'm not sure if this will affect anything. As usual, there probably is some issue with my testing methodology, but I mean, how hard would it be to get more crit damage for an Amos Ganyu? But it's not like her artifacts are horrible or anything. They're just in like many different stats, like Elemental Mastery, for example. Since last time I was using Ganyu, she was a Melt Ganyu. But yeah, the conclusion is R1 versus R1, I would imagine they're at least close, if not Great Magic being better somehow, because at R1 Amos only increases charge attacks by 12%, whereas this is 16%. And I guess if you're far enough away at R1, it's up to 40% more charge attack damage. Testing it with Tighnari would be quite a bit harder since he is a reaction character. I also think he doesn't care as much about attack like Ganyu does. As far as I remember, Hunter's Path is his signature with that incredibly low base attack, mainly because of his second passive increasing charge and burst damage based on his Elemental Mastery. But yeah, I guess just looking at the differences, he doesn't necessarily have to be doing spread, since none of the bows are specifically boosting Elemental Mastery, which would then boost spread's damage. Tighnari and Melt Ganyu share a lot of the same stat once, so I'm just going to take her set. Actually, in his case, I think I might give him an Elemental Mastery Sans instead of an attack one, and of course a Dendro Goblet. So he has around 200 crit damage. I'll try and keep that similar at least. Very, very low attack, around 400 EM. We'll start him out in Hunter's Path. Okay, that's, I mean, we can just look at the single digit numbers there at 5k. I imagine Binny Boost would have to do a lot here since we're nearly doubling his attack, but let's see. 8k, which is of course quite a big difference. So let's swap over to the first Great Magic here. We are gonna have one other Dendro in our team like we did with Ganyu. I just wanna mainly keep the same crit damage. The same attack will never work because that's like part of its main passive. So let's check this out. 34? Wow, that's so much lower. That's really surprising. I don't think Binny's Burst will make up for that difference, but just for fun, we are going to do that as well. Just gotta wait till he stops blocking. 6,200. I'm really wondering why Hunter's Path is so much better. The one thing I can really think of is this charge attack damage increased by 160% of Elemental Mastery buff just makes a lot bigger difference on multiple smaller numbers, like with what Tighnari is doing. He also does buff his own Elemental Mastery in battle. He used to have around the same as Ganyu, but now has over 500. So I guess I can make a difference as well. Just for completion's sake, we'll throw him with Amos as well. So close up, we're doing like nearly 4k. Oh, they're getting eaten by the rocks behind him. That is one thing that's super annoying about Tighnari. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Same exact damage far away. So his spread shot thing takes even longer than Ganyu's. So I guess no matter at what distance you are, he's going to have all stacks for Ammo's bow. Still, the R5 being less than Hunter's Path is pretty surprising. Yeah, 39.85 doesn't matter how close or far away you are. Inside Binny Ring, we're getting nearly 7k, but I guess it's still worse than R1 Hunter's Path, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it is his signature. So I was messing around in Genshin Optimizer for a bit just to try and get a better idea about things. Though, of course, even in Genshin Optimizer, there can be variables I'm not taking into consideration. The main point is, the first great magic can definitely be used on Ganyu. If you don't have Hunter's Path, I'd say it can be good on Tighnari as well, but Hunter's Path just seems to outperform pretty hard. That's kind of my takeaway from all of this. I also took away a headache. Feel free to tell me what you think in the comments down below. Dropping a like or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.